Hey Flosstube, it's Katie the Stash Queen coming to you on this Sunday, May the 1st. Yay, it's May! Maynia is here. I will get into all that here in a little bit. I hope everyone has had a good stitchy week. I had a good stitchy, I did. I was able to get all of my major goals accomplished this week, which was good. It was a busy week. I went on a field trip with David earlier this week, or on Thursday, and that was a lot of fun. And we've had severe weather threats that kind of fizzled out, so now we're all kind of wondering if we're going to start freaking out about crying wolf and just lots of other stuff. I did want to take a second to say thank you to everyone who commented and liked David's video. He didn't work a lot on it this week and didn't want to do another video today, but next time we have some major progress for you guys to see, we will definitely be back for another Stash Prints video. He was thrilled with all of the comments. He wanted me to say hi to all of his fans. He was absolutely thrilled. And for the couple of people who put dislikes on his video, my 5-year-old, almost 6-year-old, said it best: they must not be real stitchers, mommy. I am. I agree. Because who dislikes a 5-year-old's video? Seriously, get a life. Anyway, I've got a ton to talk about today. And I was going to leave this till the end, but I'll go ahead and say it now. My next video will not be this upcoming Sunday. It will be on Monday. David, his actual birthday is this coming Saturday, so we have a birthday party scheduled. Sunday is Mother's Day. My mother-in-law is coming in town on Saturday for birthday and Mother's Day and leaving on Monday. We have my annual family get-together with 4 generations that all get together, from my grandmother down to my kids, on Sunday for Mother's Day. So I'm just not even going to think about doing a video next Sunday. I will do it on Monday. But because of that, I will include stuff that will start on Sunday as far as new starts and whips are concerned, so that you guys can see what I'm going to plan on work on, so you don't miss a day. So let's go ahead and get started. Start as always with my Q&A. First one's from Shirley. Shirley, I'm going to butcher your last name. Muronica. Sorry, Shirley, I really apologize. She asked, when do you use perforated paper instead of fabric? The time I primarily use it, one, of course, if it calls for it in the pattern. There are, Mill Hill kits are usually on perforated paper. There's some other patterns that can be done on perforated paper or on the fabric. I usually, if I'm going to switch to perforated paper or perforated plastic for that matter, it's usually because I need it to be firm. For a ornament that's not going to be done anything but that I'm not going to finish into like a flat fold or a pillow or anything like that, just the plain ornament like a lot of the Mill Hill kits. Magnets, if I'm going to make it into a magnet or something like that, something where you need the firmer support instead of fabric, which can be kind of flimsy. I will say pretty much anything that can be done on fabric can be done on perforated paper, and vice versa. You just need a big enough piece. Henna 1937 asked, she said that she just learned about the Continental 10 stitch. Am I going to use that on my tree of knowledge? I don't know yet. I'm going to kind of see how I feel the day that I start it. I am aware of the Continental 10 stitch. I'm using it on one of my other Hades. I just haven't decided yet, honestly, what I'm going to do when I get to that one. Miss Oso Crafty asked, which is the best stitching magazine in my opinion? The two I subscribe to are Just Cross Stitch and Cross Stitch and Needlework. Those are the two American-based ones that I think are the best. Just Cross Stitch has its annual ornament issue that's part of your subscription. The Halloween issue is separate, but it's always awesome. Cross Stitch and Needlework has had a lot of fantastic patterns in it. I'm using a ton of their patterns in the year of start. Same with Just Cross Stitch. For the European brands, my favorite is World of Cross Stitching. I like that one the most of the other brands. But really, if you can go to your Barnes & Noble or wherever you can pick up your stitching magazines off the rack, take a minute and go through. I usually find at least one thing in every issue of Just Cross Stitch or Cross Stitch and Needlework that I would do. I can't say that about every other magazine. Pauline Williamson asked, when I use silk, how do I keep them? Do I wind them on bobbins? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I know there are people out there cringing at that, but sometimes I do. Mows, I bobbinate because it's easier to keep control of it that way. Water lilies, I don't. It kind of just depends on what I use. I'm one of those that's, you know, you're going to find people out there, and it's not wrong, that think bobbinating silks is bad for them, and that's fine. I've not had an issue with it. So I do sometimes yes, sometimes no. Millie, Allion, Mildred, and Rock and Raven asked similar questions about if I was going to be, what are my plans for 2016, or for all of these whips for 2017 for next year, and will next year be a year of finishes? I don't know yet. Honestly, they'll stick in my alphabetic rotation, that's for sure. So I'll get to all of them eventually. They'll still go through my alphabet. I haven't formulated any major plans yet. I'll start thinking about that in October. Painting with Thread Shayna. Basically, I'm going to read, it's a little bit long. Said, hi Katie, I'm so stuck. I'm really concerned with dye lot changes. When I kit out my projects, I'll purchase all 35 skeins of that one color in fear of purchasing some months later and seeing a change. I like purchasing my skeins per kit as opposed to pulling them out from a set of DNC, yet I don't know where to turn this question. Basically, she's afraid of dye lot changes. I have been stitching for 20 some odd years. I have vintage DMC that I inherited from some people. I have DMC that I have collected. Maybe once have I ever seen a variation in color changes. Certainly not a couple of months later. It's just not something that I freak out about. And if you're kidding, some people kit up for every project, and that's fine. I'm not going to say you shouldn't do that. But what do you do with all of the thread that you have left when you're done with that project? Do you just, I would always go from that thread first before you start going and buying up all the skeins. I have hardly ever seen dye lot changes. I know they happen. It comes up with people regularly. Hades are probably the only one that I would see. Yes, go ahead and kit them up because those are going to take a whole long time. But if you're kitting up something small, you don't need 35 skeins of a color. You just don't. Unless the pattern calls for it, and then that's a whole other issue. I would say if you are that worried about it, figure out how many skeins you need for a project and buy one extra. It'll save you some money that way. It'll help relieve your concern, but then also go through your stash before you start buying everything up. Use what you've got. You'll save money that way. And if you've already bought a bunch of the ones that are the same color lot, you shouldn't have to worry about if it's going to be the same or not. But like I said, in the 20 some odd years plus that I have been stitching, it has been once, maybe twice, that I have seen an issue with color lot changes. That's just me. Hope that helps. Rosa Maria Cross Stitch says, will you work on all these new starts all year? Yes, they go into my whip rotation. Do you finish them or are you startaholic? Yes and yes. I do get finishes occasionally, but I don't focus usually on just one project at a time to finish it. I am a startaholic. Year of starts. Hello. Shelly Ripto says, asked, what issue from Cross Stitch Needleworks did the May and June year celebrations come from? May is in the May 2014 issue, and June is in the July 2014 issue. Squeaky35 asked if I could post links to Minding My Minders and Nifty Needle Nannies. Sure, I'll post them in the comments below. Yeah, well, whatever said, what fabric would I recommend to try if someone has only ever stitched on 14 and 16 count Aida? My favorite of the even weave, I would do even weave over linen, because even weave is even and linen isn't always even. If you're used to 14 and 16, that translates to 28 and 32 count on an even weave or a linen. I like Joblin because I like it really soft. Lugana's a little bit more firm, but I would go to a 28 or a 32. You can find the white or off-white or oatmeal colors at your Joann's or Hobby Lobby or Michael's and kind of play with that and test on that. But my favorite is Joblin. I usually have 28 or 32. Those are the counts I use most. So those are the Q&A for this week. Thank you everyone as always for your questions. And if you have any other questions for me, feel free to ask them and I will be happy to get to them next week. Week in review. Okay. Sit back, buckle up. It's going to be a lot of information. Because today's May 1st. Mania. Everyone here? We'll get there. All right, week in review. For my monthly stitch alongs, my goal this past week was to finish all of the April editions, and I did. So yay. Here is my Magical Creatures calendar from Clouds Factory on 32 Opal Belfast in Diva from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. Here is the little April piece all done up. I removed her nose because it just looked weird. And I'm using Flosses and Silks from Moe's, and I back stitched the April like I've done for the rest of the months. So here is the full piece, oops, at this point. So January, February, March, April. May I can start as of today, which is the wizard and his little library study thing. So yay. And my minder is a little fantasy needle minder from Minding My Minders. So I will keep working on that starting May, starting today. Then for the postcards from the world from Clouds Factory, I finished up Moscow. So, and this is being done on 32 Joblin and Ice Goddess from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie, using Flosses and Silks from Moe's sale. Here is Moscow all finished. Yay! And here's the entire piece as of today. I'm loving it. And the next pattern has come out for May. It is New Delhi, India. So I don't have to use a red, white, and blue border. Yay! I looked up India's flag colors today, and their main colors are orange, white, and green with blue, the blue motif in the center. So I went through my flosses, and this is the best one that I found for it that I'm going to use. This is Versace by Moe's sale. It's got the green, it's got the orange, it has a little bit of white in between the ones, and then it has the blue from the center. So this is what I'm going to use for the border for New Delhi. Yay! And then I finished the April portion of the Pumpkin Passport from Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, which is on 28 Joblin and Ice Goddess from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie, using Flosses and Silks from Moe's sale. And here is, I'll show the April portion with Switzerland first. Very Whovianized. Are we shocked? So here we go. There's Switzerland. We have the Doctor, the 11th Doctor with his fez and a bow tie and a mop. I put handles up at the top instead of the sheep. I did swan with the two necks in homage to the episodes from this past season. I filled in the bridge with flowers, but I used the TARDIS colors, so I used the Pita Silk and B5200 for the TARDIS colors. All the snow on the mountain is B5200 with blending filament and 032 blending filament from Kreinik to make it sparkle. But the snow that's falling is actually one strand of B5200, one strand of a light gray, whose color number I'm forgetting off the top of my head, as well as the Kreinik blending filament in order to represent the ash falling from the Christmas invasion. I have the little Swiss flag that's there in the center. I made the tower a little bit more angular and added windows to it to make it a little bit less questionable. I did use Kreinik for the domes on the top of the church, but I'm really pleased with how this came out. And here's the whole piece at this point. My Whovian adventure so far. The next section comes out today, but it won't come out till this evening, so I don't know what it is yet. So I have no idea what changes I'm going to do yet, but we'll see what happens. I was happy to get all of those finished before May 1st. Other pieces suffered as a result while I focused on getting them done, but that's okay. My flossable stitch along is still the spring stitch along that runs until June 19th. I'm doing Mirabilia's Easter Fairy. I did start working on it this week, or I did work on it this week. It's on 32 Joblin and Seahorse Shores from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And this week I decided to start working on the skin, which I'm doing 1/1. So there's one of her arms with the skin. And here's the whole piece. And I have my little Tinkerbell needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. So it's coming along. Then the Outlander stitch along which is every Saturday, is my sampler Through the Stones by Crown Street Cottage. I'll put a link to it below. And I am doing this on 32 Belfast and Umbriel from Under the Sea Fabrics. Look, more roof. But I finished this side of the roof, so now I'm going to the other side. So it's progress. And there's my Jamie needle minder from Minding My Minders. So I'll work on this again this upcoming Saturday with everything else that I've got going on this upcoming Saturday, but that's okay. The intention will be to work on it this upcoming Saturday. Then my annual Mania stitch along for this past week, it was a chatelaine week. I only worked on it one day, but that's okay. It was my Medieval Town Mandala. And I'm doing this one on 32 Lugana in Truffle from Picture This Plus. And I was able to work on some specialty stitches to fill in these, most of these flower gardens. I still have these two over here to do, but there were straight stitches, there were diamond roads, and then there were some, I forget which one in the middle, but so you can kind of see a little bit maybe. So more just minor details, but it's the little details that make the difference. Would have liked to work on it more this week, but I had to get those stitch along pieces done. So it kind of went by the wayside, but that's okay. Like I have always said, every stitch done is one stitch closer to the end. Which is also why I only worked one day. On the end of the monthly Mania stitch along for Stitch Mania last month was April Showers Bring May Flowers. My last week was working on my Little Mermaid from the Disney Dreams collection. Only worked on it one day, but I did make some progress. So here is where we are now at this point. Got those little rocks that are in the middle filled in. Got some more sky. Got some more water. So. And I have my pinup Ariel from Gina's Unique Boutique. Is that all my stitch alongs? Oh, there's one more stitch along. There were a lot of stitch alongs to work on this past week. The 24th was the Mania Color a Day stitch along. April was Purple Haze, and I worked on my Plum Pudding from Glendon Place, which I am doing on 28 Lugana in Whimsy from Picture This Plus. And I made progress on this chevron over here. So that's really what I worked on, was that one. So, and my minder is a 10th Dr. Needle minder from Minding My Minders. It was fun to see what everyone picked out for these Color a Day stitch alongs. That's one thing I enjoy the most about all of the stitch alongs in Mania, is just seeing how everyone interprets them, what they pick. I know I have enabled people. I know I have been enabled. It's just awesome. So Year of Starts. I did successfully complete another week in the Year of Starts. First one from the Just Cross Stitch 2010 issue. I started, it's Ornamental Wreath. Sorry, I need this for another. This is this one right here. And I'm doing it on 32 count natural linen. And here's where I start. Here's where I got to. So, kilo in my little angel needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. Then there were 3 days this week where I had the Prairie Schooler alphabet D, E, and F. So here's D, E, and F. And here is where we are at this point. It's getting big. Let's see if I can show this all to you guys. I did start E in the wrong place, so there's frogging line, but hopefully that'll get covered up. So there's D, E, and F. And then here's everything so far. So this is being done on 32 Joblin and Toasted Almond from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And I have my Wonder Woman needle minder from Minding My Minders. So A, B, C, D, E, F are all started. Which is a good thing. Then my next one was Lily of the Valley from Nora Corbett, one of her pixies. And I am doing this one on 32 Joblin in Lunar Eclipse from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And here's where I got to. Someone said it looked like a little crocodile, and now I can't unsee the little crocodile. But that was the progress I made, and I have an Anna needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. There was E and there's F. That's the one good and not so good thing about starting the same 3 parts of the same piece in a couple of days. Then the next one I had was Lizzie Kate's How to Be a Mean Mother, which cracked my daughter up when she read the whole text. And I am doing this on 28 Joblin in Chocolate Milk from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And here is where I was able to get to. Start in the upper corner instead of the middle. And I have my little Teresa needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. And then my last new start this week is a discontinued frosted pumpkin pattern called Sugarloaf and Threadly the Bobbin. They don't sell it anymore, so I can't put a link to it below, and it's electronic, so sorry. But I'm doing this on a scrap of purple scrap that Garrett gave me, and I'm using variegated flosses from DMC. So here's where I started. I've got my needle minder from one of the Frosted Pumpkin needle minders. I love that variegation. Isn't that cool? So those were all my starts. Yay! Whips for the week. I was able to get to 3 whips this week, and one of them was even a finish. I have a finish! Oh my gosh! Okay. First whip that I worked on this week was the Pikes Peak Santa from Mill Hill. And here's where I was able to get to at this point. Worked some more blue. That's a hanging thread in the back, sorry. The blue colors of the stripes of his jacket. Then the next one I was able to work on was Pinup Girls from Soda Stitch. These cute ladies. And I'm doing that one on 32 Joblin in Pixie Kiss from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And I'm not sure if you can be able to see really clearly on this one what I did this week, but I was able to get more skin tone in on this girl. And here is my blingy needle minder from Gina's Unique Boutique. So a lot of skin filled in. I was happy with the progress. And then my finish. I finished this last night, late. It is Pinkie Pie from the My Little Pony collection from Pixels and Stitches. I'll put a link to it below. It's an electronic pattern. There's Pinkie Pie. Isn't she adorable? I'm doing all 6 as 6 separate pieces. And I'm going to be making them all into magnets for my daughter. But there's Pinkie Pie. She's all finished. And this is all being done on 14 count perforated plastic. So it's another finish. Yay! So the first third of 2016 is done. We are 4 months in. And Kate, the Queen of Starts, posted in Mania her stats up to this point. And so I did mine as well. I have started as of yesterday, 122 patterns. I have had 3 finishes so far this year. And I have a total of 165 whips as of today. That doesn't seem like as many as I thought. I thought I had more. That's probably a good thing then, right? Okay. All right. So, upcoming week. Remember, we are adding an extra day in for this week for me to show you guys stuff. Plus, Mania started today. It has been so awesome seeing all of the posts and everyone who've been so excited with Mania in the group. It's just been awesome. And so many people have joined in, and it's so much fun. And whether you're doing 15 starts in 15 days or more than that, or a combo of whips and starts, or just whips, it's just so fun. So my plans for this week, as I got off on a tangent. Magical Creatures Calendar by Clouds Factory, the May portion I'm going to start. The Postcards from the World by Clouds Factory, I'm going to start working on New Delhi. And then the Frosted Pumpkin, whatever comes out this evening, I'll start working on that this week as well. I'm going to go back to focus on a finish, because I'm not going to have a separate Mania stitch along this week or this month. And I decided I'm going to try to finish out my Mediterranean flavors by dimensions, because I'm so close to being done with this one. And it would be nice to put another finish in the finish column. Here's where we are at this point. See, I don't really have a ton left to do. And I've got my little Weeping Angel needle minder from Minding My Minders. So I'll work on this as I can when I want to get it finished up. Then my flossable stitch along will continue, so I'll keep working on my Easter Fairy. And the Outlander stitch along, I will do another 30 minutes this week. The annual Mania stitch along for this month, or for this week for me, is a Brooks Books week. And we are working on Madonna and Child. This is from the 2010 Just Cross Stitch Ornament issue. It's Madonna and Child. And here is where I'm starting from at this point. So if I can get the circle done today, or not today, but this week, that would be my goal, is to finish the circle this week. Because then I just have leaves and then a flower, 2 flowers, and it's not much. Then Stitch Mania. As I have said before, I am combining Stitch Mania and the Year of Starts. I am not doing extra starts for the Year of Starts as well as for Stitch Mania. And also, as a reminder, I am doing 36 starts for Stitch Mania. So there are 2 days. I'm going to be showing you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 starts I plan on starting between now and next Sunday, before my video on Monday. Because I have 2 days where I'm doing 2 starts. So let's look what we're doing. Today, I have 2 starts that I'm planning on doing today. The first one is my 1920s Flapper by Joan Elliott. And I am doing that one on, oops, all of my magnets are sticking together. That's the problem when you have this massive pile of stuff over here. I am doing this one on 32 Joblin in Siren Noir from Under the Sea Fabrics. So pretty. And I am using a pinup Tiana needle minder from Gina's Unique Boutique. So that's my first start for today. Today's a busy day. Then the next one for today that I'm starting, I'm going to be doing the Cotton Reels wreath from World of Cross Stitching issue number 239. I originally said in my preview video that I was going to use Mo's for this, and I have decided against it. I'm going to use the colors as charted, because I switch stuff out so much that sometimes it's nice to use what's charted, and I just think this is beautiful. So I'm going to use what was charted. All right, let's get this minder off that was attached. Sorry. Minor emergency. I am doing this one, the Reels wreath, on the, where is it? It's 32 Lugana in Fog from Picture This Plus. And I am using one of the floss needle minders from Nifty Needle Manny's, because it's appropriate. So those are my 2 starts for today. So Monday, getting caught in the... Monday, the 2nd, I am going to be doing Sunday Morning Sunrise, and this is from Cross Stitch and Needleworks May 2014 issue. And I am doing this one on 32 Jobelin in Tulip Sunrise from Under the Sea Fabrics. To capture that sunrise in the background. And my minder is a Celtic Cross needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. Then, so that's the 2nd. On the 3rd, I will be doing electronic pattern. I'll put a link to it below, but it is Zelda from Pixel Power Design. And I am doing this one on a 28 Jobelin solo die from Silk Weavers. Probably have to cut it down, just haven't decided how yet. And I have a stained glass Zelda Link needle minder from Minding My Minders. Then the 4th, we also have the stitch along of May the 4th Be With You. So my new start, so it's a Star Wars stitch along. My new start is electronic pattern. It is the trio of Amidala costumes from Fangirl Stitches, and I'll put a link to it below. I am doing all 3 pieces on one piece of fabric, and that is 28 Jobelin in Winterfell from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. Pretty. And I have an Amidala needle minder from Minding My Minders. Then on the 5th, one I'm actually excited yet nervous about. I'll be starting my first Teresa Wentzler from the Best of Teresa Wentzler Fantasy Collection book. I will be doing Night. Isn't she gorgeous? And I am doing this one on 32 Belfast and Hamlet from Under the Sea Fabrics. It's beautiful. I just love it. And my minder is this little Nighttime Castle Carnival blingy needle minder from Minding My Minders. Then on the 6th, I will be doing another electronic pattern, but I can't show it to you. It's the freebie from Glendon Place, the Friendship Compass, where you get to pick your own colors and pick your own threads. So it's Friendship Compass by Glendon Place. I originally said I was going to use, I think Jottery is what I said I was going to use, but I'm just going to be doing this on 20 count white Lugana. You know, nothing fancy. My needle minder is a Gemini needle minder from Minding My Minders. But I decided instead of using Jottery, I was going to use flosses that I had received from Stitchy Box, and it's kind of going to be a Halloween-y themed one, because I'm going to use this limited edition one that was in this last Stitchy Box, whose name I'm blanking on right now. I've got the Planet Earth fiber, the green foliage silk. I'm going to use Fiberlicious Imperial Purple. I am going to use the Pure Palette After Midnight. I'm going to use Silken Colors Ginger Snap. And then the Stitchy Box exclusive Trick or Treat by Dinky Dyes. So I think this is going to be fun. I got 2 orangey bases, 2 green bases, and 2 purples. So, and then beads I'll figure out when I get to that point. I'm excited. I think it's going to be fun. Do I know which color is going to go where yet? Nope. I'll figure it out. Then on the 7th, which is Saturday, I have 2 more scheduled, which I may switch up because Saturday's going to be a crazy day, but we'll figure it out. The first one I have scheduled for Saturday is Summer Patchwork from World of Cross Stitching number 219. And I am doing this one on 32 Lugana in Summer from Picture This Plus, which I definitely have to cut down. But it's the bright yellow from Picture This Plus. And I am using my little rainbow lollipop needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. And then the second start that I have scheduled for Saturday is my Edwardian Lady #1 from World of Cross Stitching issue number 238. And I am doing her on 32 Belfast and Buttercup from Under the Sea Fabrics. And my minder is a chandelier needle minder from Minding My Minders. And then Sunday, because of Mother's Day and everything else I already mentioned, I'm going to show you what I plan on starting next Sunday. Which will be Home of a Needleworker by Little House Needleworks. And I am going to be doing this one on, looking at my notes, 28 Joblin in Vanilla Latte from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. Yes, I probably need to cut it down. And my needle minder is a blue floss needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. And I am using the called for flosses from Classic Colorworks and Company. Yeah, Crescent Colors, Classic Colorworks. So those are all of my year starts / Stitch Mania plans for this week. Yay! So, whips for the upcoming week. I am hoping that even though a couple of days I have multiple starts, that since I don't have a separate Stitch Mania Stitch Along this month, that I might be able to get through more of these whips this week. We'll see. First one that I'm working on this week is actually going to be Plum Pudding again, which you just saw from Glendon Place. And then the second one is going to be my Prairie Schooler alphabet, which you've already seen, but I'm going to work on the letter A. Then the next three are all electronic patterns. First one is Pretty Little Barcelona from Satsuma Street. And I am doing this on 28 Cashel and Ocean Fancy from Silk Weavers. And here's where we were when we stopped, when I last worked on it. And then my Pink and Purple Tree needle minder from Minding My Minders. Then the next one that I have pulled out is Pretty Little Chicago, which is also on 28 Cashel and Ocean Fancy from Silk Weavers. And here's where we are on that one. And my minder says, apparently common sense isn't that common, and it's from Minding My Minders. Those are all holdovers from this past week. So the rest of these next four are new ones for this week. Another Pretty Little. It's Pretty Little Washington, D.C., which I am doing on 32 Belfast and Shimmering Seas from Under the Sea Fabrics. And here's where we got to on that one. And my minder is a House of Cards needle minder from Minding My Minders. Then my next one to pull out is Pretty Parasols from World of Cross Stitching issue number 224. Here's the... And I'm doing this one on 32 Belfast and Misty Morning from Under the Sea Fabrics. Here's where we got to when I started it for the year of starts. And my minder is just this Pretty Little Heart needle minder that I had. Actually, it was a magnet, and I just added another magnet to it to make it a needle minder. Then my next whip that I pulled is Princess Collection by Soda Stitch. All the pretty little Disney princesses. And I am doing this on 32 Lugana and Zephyr from Picture This Plus. Here, probably. This is where I stopped the last time I worked on it. I was working on Ariel. And I have my pretty blingy Emerald Crown needle minder from Gina's Unique Boutique. And then my last one, my last whip that I pulled for this week was last year's May the 4th be with you stitch along start for Stitch Mania and Star Wars. And it is electronic pattern. It is Princess Leia, which from Fangirl Stitches, and I'll put a link to it below. But these were all of Leia's costumes in the original trilogy. I would hope that it gets updated to include the newer costumes, but we'll see. So here's where we are at this point. Got 4 of the costumes pretty much done, working on some skin. And I have a Princess Leia needle minder. I don't remember where I got this one from. But it is on, oh, it is on 28 Joblin and Cosmos from Under the Sea Fabrics. So those are my plans for the week. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of stitching. I do have a few stash acquisitions this week. First one, I got my Under the Sea Fabrics Fabric of the Month. And it is As You Wish, which is a beautiful, and this is 32 Belfast. It's a beautiful blues and greens. It's just gorgeous. And kind of like a lilac blue almost. It's just really pretty. And then I had to place a 1, 2, 3 stitch order to get some more bobbins because I was out of bobbins. And I threw in, because you don't just order bobbins, that's boring. And I'm not showing you bobbins because that's boring. I did get 2 little Mill Hill kits from the Spring Bouquet. This one's Golden Sun, which is actually, no, yeah, I think that one's, is this the one that's all beads? I can't remember. One of these is, yeah, I think it's this one. It's entirely all of the beads, but I could be wrong. And then this one, which is Sail Away. Another cute Mill Hill kit. Then yesterday, David and I went and had a Mommy David day out at the mall, and we did stop at Barnes & Noble, and I picked up some magazines, and I'm not going to flip through all of them. I'm just going to show you my favorite pattern in each one. First one we got was Sampler's Cross Stitch Favorites from the Spring 2016 issue, 123 sampler motifs. My favorite one in here was this series of Gardener's Delight. It just got all these different little garden motifs, and I thought they were adorable, and I love the colors in them. If anyone wants me to go through these in more detail, some of these probably have already been gone through in detail in other videos, and I just haven't gotten to them yet because I'm so far behind on Flosstube. But if anyone does, just put it in the comments, and I'll be happy to go through it next week. And then everyone, I think, has seen this one. It's the Cross Stitch Crazy issue. Whichever number it is. It's the one with the Satsuma Oz in there. I did get a free gift with it. It's this little vintage charm floral frame kit. And my favorite pattern is the Somewhere Over the Rainbow, which if you haven't seen this yet, it's just awesome. I can see having this and my Spirit of Oz Santa side by side. So I'm going to work that possibly into the year of start somewhere. Haven't decided yet. Then I got the Cross Stitcher April 2016 issue, and it came with a free little bunny brooch kit. And my favorite one is this French Fancies. It's on the cover. It's a little bakery with all the different French pastries. And then the last one I got was World of Cross Stitching, whichever issue this one is. This one. And it came with a pretty springtime cards chart book and supplies. And my favorite one in here was this one. It's an Egyptian sampler. It's by Anchor, but it's easy enough to switch from Anchor to DMC. So I thought that was awesome. And then my last stash acquisition for this week was actually a gift, a rack. Michelle Winkin from Stitch Mania contacted me and said that she wasn't gonna, that she has a hard time seeing on the 28 count fabric anymore, and she had a piece of fabric and a pattern that she wanted to send me. She actually ended up sending me 2 patterns, and it was so sweet and so generous, and I'm definitely going to figure out places to fit these in for the year of starts. The fabric is a 28 cashel linen in lavender mist from Zweigert. Let me pull it out here. Really pretty piece of fabric, and she believes she bought it to work with this pattern, which is Paula Vaughn's A Bride's Prayer, which is just so beautiful. I love this. And then, sneaky thing, slipped in this one as well, which is Angels Unawares, which is, I'm doing a similar one, or a similar sentiment one by Joan Elliott, but she sent this one as well. The angels are so cute down here. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares. So thank you, Michelle. That was so, so sweet of you. I really, 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 really appreciate it. So, like I said, plans, my next video will not be on Sunday. It'll be on Monday, the 9th. Yes, yes. Because Saturday is the 7th, David's birthday, plus a party, plus mother-in-law in town, which means I'm going to have to do a lot of cleaning this week, which was going to make stitching even more fun. But I will do a video on Monday, so have no fear. Just come back on Monday. Other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful stitch week. If you're participating in Mania, I cannot wait to see everything that you guys are doing. It's so much fun. I am going to go ahead and get this uploaded so I can go get started on my stitching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!